There's a legend known to many that the mysterious sacred scroll was written by the ancient Demon King. The ancient Demon King was the most powerful being in the world, and the secrets to all of his powers is somewhere out there. The sacred scroll of the abyss is said to contain powers that can rule the heavens and earth, and can allow anyone to break their limits. The scroll has now found its way in the hands of Yi Fan Zhou, the current Demon King. Many top martial artists have descended upon the Demon Peak in an effort to keep the information from leaking out into the world. Others have tried to take the power for themselves. Top disciple Chang Zhao kneels before the Demon King and in a panicking state informs him that the force field has been eradicated and the 7 kings will soon arrive. Zhou says stop panicking, the 7 kings are no match for him after all. However, he doubts they could have broken through his barrier. A small army orders Zhou to give them the scroll. Zhou smiles and in a matter of seconds exterminated them. A mysterious voice told him to give up and give them the scroll. They are the 7 kings. Zhou taunts the King of Swords saying he's a fool. Zhou's the most powerful of all the kings, however he has become the enemy of the entire sacred realm. Zhou exclaims heroes and saints, they're all a bunch of greedy sinister people. Suddenly a sword pierces through Zhou's chest. His former disciple says give up master. A wise man must adapt to the situation. Zhou responds it was you who disarmed the force field and let them in. Why? Zhou had raised him all on his own ever since he was a child. Chang says I owe you everything, but you shouldn't have kept the sacred scroll for yourself. Zhou understands that Chang's lust for power means more to him than what he's given. Chang removes the sword from his chest leaving a hole. And says you taught me to do it with conviction. If you believe in something it doesn't matter what other people think. Zhou laughs hysterically satisfied by his words. Zhou's eyes become red and exclaims I'll destroy the scroll before I hand it over to anyone else. A blue light is emitted from his body, then he self-destructs. His soul is then seen searching for a vessel. 4 men lay lifeless. A blue mark appears on one of their forehead. Suddenly his eyes open. He probes his body and realized he's now in the body of a bratty kid. He hears rustling from within the forest, then noticed a pack of wolves that are salivating intent. They charge at him, but in a serious tone he warns them to leave. They run away. A man leans in a tree calling out to Fan for help. Zhou noticed that his tier force is at level 2. He decides he will be good enough to feed on. Zhou grabs the man's head. He realizes that the person before him is not Fan, but it's too late. Zhou used his technique called demonic execution. The man's body became red. His eyes glowed blue and dark shadows were absorbed from his body. Demonic execution is the highest ranking ability in the sacred scroll. It can be used to absorb another person's power to use as your own. But that person's spirit energy will repel the new body. So it must be converted to demonic energy before it can be absorbed. It took him the entire night to convert the spirit force. He takes the skeleton's cape, then tests his power level by striking a boulder with lightning. It exploded and from the fog his body sparked. He laughed pleased by the results. The body had transformed from powerless to tier 5 on the basic realm. It won't take long for him to return to the sacred realm if he continues on this pace. He hears the sound of a sword. He hides behind a tree and eavesdropped. Yang Pan, commander of the Luo family guards, points his sword and says, Jay Sun, you traitor, you've gone too far. Jay Sun, who is the manager of the House of Luo, suggests he stands down. Jay Sun is after the reverse dragon pawn technique that has been passed down in the Luo family for generations. There's no way they would hand it over. A young annoying boy who I already hate yells, sis, stop holding me back, I'll kill the traitor. Zhou new body have remnant memories of Luo family, however Zhou doesn't care about them. He leaps away. Suddenly he felt a piercing pain in his chest. He falls on the ground. He wonders if it was caused by his training. Joe meditates on analyze his body. Everything seems normal. Suddenly he has a thought. He rushes back to the group. After seeing Ms. Luo's expression, his pain disappears. But on the contrary, when he leaves, his chest becomes painful. His condition is known as magic of the heart. If practitioner are exposed to magic, it's the same as a curse. On become unable to do as they please and eventually die if they disobey their hearts. Joe searches Fan memories. He discovered that the host father had sacrificed himself for Luo family and Fan was taken in by the Luo family. Afterwards Ms. Luo protected him from bullying. A guardian called Pang had trained him to be a guardian as well. Fan promised to work hard and be strong, so he could protect the Luo family and Ms. Luo. Before he died, bandits had invaded and killed the Luo's parents in search of an item. Fan was held by his master in his final moments and told her to run away. He cursed himself for his weakness.